Now we get to which I think, in my opinion, is the first big fuck up in the series. I mean, Scream 2, I'm not a fan of. To me, it was a step down from the first film, and let alone a lackluster sequel. And I just didn't care for Scream 2, not at all. Scream 3, other than the first film, which is still the best one in the series, it's a classic, still. Scream 3, I think is underrated. I think that's the only other Scream film I liked in this series. To me, I had more fun with that movie. He had a better supporting cast than Scream 2 to me, or a much better supporting cast than any of these people in this movie. Like in the Scream 3, you had Patrick Dempsey. The guy who plays Patrick Dempsey's partner is Josh Paez, who played Raphael from the 1990 Ninja Turtles film, both in the costume and the voice. That was cool to see him. I love the 1990 Ninja Turtles film, childhood film. I enjoy him playing as Raphael. It was cool to see him in there. Lance Hendrickson, always nice to see him. Parker Posey, Jenny McCartney, Patrick Warburton, Scott Foley. I thought he was a much better Ghostface than the last one of Scream 2, and then better Ghostface here in this. Because I actually like the reveal, because I like the clues that they were leading to, the whole thing with Sydney's mother and all that stuff, right? And the reveal, he's actually Sydney's brother. I like that little twist. I like that reveal. And so some of the kills I thought were better, but that Matt Kiesler, he was the actor who was playing Dewey in the Stab movie. Him getting blown up in the house. That was one of the best Ghostface kills of the series to me. There were certain, and I like the whole thing at the setting of the mansion with the little some stuff with the secret passages, and Sydney getting a little more fisticuffs with her brother. Patrick Dempsey actually had put up a little fight too. That was cool. I just got more fun and entertainment, and and the cameos, like from Carrie Fisher, rest in peace, Carrie Fisher, director Roger Corman, even the best cameos was Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith as Jay and Silent Bob. It was cool to see. It was cool to see them, and Courtney Cox giving them the middle finger. That was cool. I enjoy Scream 3. To me, that's the most underrated one of the series. I never understood the hate for Scream 3. To me, that's the only other good one in the series. And then you get to this. Like I said, the first big fuck up in the series. Scream 4, or Scram 4 if because they put the 4 as the A. And to me, what sucks is that this was the last film that Wes Craven did before he passed away a few years later after this. It sucks, This is the last film he did before he passed away. Wes Craven, wherever you are, I enjoy you as a director. I love Shocker. I love the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I enjoy Serpent of the Rainbow, The People Under the Stairs. I've enjoyed Red Eye. That was a good thriller with Cillian Murphy. But the thing is, I'm not a fan of Vampire in Brooklyn with Eddie Murphy. I'm not a fan of his original two films, of the original The Hills of Ice or The Last House on the Left. To me, I think the remakes were better. Like I said, Vampire in Brooklyn, to me, I think to me it sucked. That's one of my weaker Eddie Murphy movies. And My Soul to Take, to me that sucked too. But this film, the last one he did before he passed away, to me, sadly to say, he ended on a sucky note. Sad to say, because My Soul to Take is one he did before this, so he ended on a bad track record. Sad to say. I mean, I enjoy Wes Craven, from the 80s and 90s, especially the 80s and early 90s stuff. Scream 4. It is the lowest grossing one in the series. It only made about 97 million worldwide. All the other ones, all the rest of the movies, made way over 100 million in the worldwide. And the score by Marco Beltrami is another weak score. To me, his score in the first and the third film were much better. The cast in this, I thought overall, especially the supporting cast, sucked. Except for one, that was Hayden Panettiere. Hayden Panettiere, which I remember that back when she started in Racing Stripes, and also when she was a child, when she voiced in one of the characters in Disney's Dinosaur. And I know she did other stuff. I think she started in the show Nashville. Yeah, I think there was a show Nashville. But to me, I think she was right here as the character Kirby was her name, Kirby. To me, I think out of all the new cast members, I think she was the one I liked the most. To me, I think she did a pretty decent job in this film. She out of all the other newer cast members, I think she was the best one. Rory Culkin, back when we saw him back when he was a little kid in M. Night's Signs. The only thing going for Rory Culkin in this film was because the fact that he had long hair. That's the only thing you can identify with his character is that he had long hair, looking like his brother Macaulay Culkin. You can definitely see the complete. If you put Rory Culkin with his long hair in this film, put him next to how Macaulay Culkin is now, they'd be identical twins. Well, I know they do look exactly alike anyway. So, but yeah, Rory Culkin, yeah, the only thing that you can only identify about him in this film because he has longer hair. Other ones. Emma Roberts, who plays the cousin of Sydney, she's the daughter of actor Eric Roberts, and her aunt is Julie Roberts, because Eric Roberts is Julia's brother, so her aunt is Julie Roberts, yeah, but she's the daughter of actor Eric Roberts. I'm sorry, she sucked in this film. I don't care for her much as an actress. Maybe I did not mind her when she started the comedy We're the Millers. Because I did not mind that film. I thought she was alright in that film. But it was only because it was better because Ed Helms and Jennifer Aniston I like better. But overall, I'm not big on Emma Roberts. To me, she sucked in this film. I mean, I think you should go back and learn more from your father and your aunt. Because they're much better actors than you. I'm sorry. Anthony Anderson, which I like Anthony Anderson. Back when I first saw him in Kangaroo Jack, yeah, that was the film when I was introduced to Anthony Anderson. I liked him in Kangaroo Jack because I'm one of the very few people that likes Kangaroo Jack. Yeah, sue me, I know. But Anthony Anderson, some of the stuff I also some of the stuff which the other time when we started a horror slash film was the sequel, Urban Legends: The Final Cut. That's a heavily flawed film. Very heavily flawed, but to me, I think it's much better than this. So he also dies in that film, but I did not like him. I did not like him in the Scary Movie 3 and 4, and although he was much better when he started in the action film with Steven Seagal, Exit Wounds. But Anthony Anderson overall, I don't mind him. To me, he sucked in this film because yeah, he's the funny cop, and then he has a shitty death too when he gets stabbed in the head and he gets up and he's still walking, and his last line he goes and says, "Fuck Bruce Willis." And Kevin Williamson, after Aaron Kruger wrote the third film, he comes back to write the film. This is the lines of dialogue he writes in this film. His script in this film sucks. Kevin Williamson. Your writing in this film sucked. Other people. Nico Torelli plays the guy who's with Rory Culkin. He wears the webcam on his head. Adam Brody plays the other cop that's partnered with Anthony Anderson. other supporting cast members I just didn't really give a shit about. Yeah, the supporting cast in this film was overall weak, except for Hayden Panettiere. So, where to start? I mean, the one positive I could say about it is the opening of this film, because it opens like it's like a film within a film within a film, which I did not see coming. Because the first opening's like, which you realize it's a stab film, but then realize it's another film that was watching a stab film. And so the second opening of that is we have actresses Anna Paquin, plays Rogue from X-Men, and Kristen Bell. Kristen Bell starred in the show Veronica Mars, and best known for playing Anna from Frozen. They're watching, and Kristen Bell also stabs Anna Paquin, and then he finds another opening within an opening, which I think twice was good enough. Though I think they went a little overboard with a third opening, but overall, I did not see coming that it was a film within a film within a film, right? For a stab film, right? But yeah, I didn't. That's what positive I can say about it. Although 3 times I think was overdoing. I think they could have done it with twice though. So it takes place. It's 15 years after the events of the first movie. Neve Campbell comes back as Sidney Prescott. She comes back home to Woodsboro again. Well, not again, but because the third film she was in Hollywood, so. But she comes back home and she wrote a book about this. And Courtney Cox and David Arquette, they come back. They're married at this time because at the end of the third film, he proposed to her. Although sad to say, I guess during this time of making the film, they were having marriage problems, and after that they separated. So it was kind of like an ironic thing where during the day they were married in this film, but in real life, during the time this film was being made, they had marriage problems. And sad to say, they were given nothing to do. Even Neve Campbell, our original trio, they basically haven't given nothing to do. They just kind of like more pushed to the side, especially Neve Campbell. I think she was more pushed to the side, and focused more on these newer characters, which I overall didn't give a shit about, except for Kirby, Hayden Panettiere. And the whole thing is with these new rules they come up with. I mean, it was shitty. It was a shitty rules they come up with. Even the 5 and 6, their rules were shitty too. I mean, even Jimmy Candy's cameo in Scream 3, the rule he gave about trilogies, made more sense than the rules in this. I mean, what was it? Because their school, they have a movie club, a film club, which. It's clubs like those I see. It's clubs like those I only see in anime, right? Because in anime, in schools they have different clubs, right? And it's like clubs like those I only see in anime. And by the way, they show all these posters, especially of all these much better movies, and it's better than your movie. Because I know for sure that I saw John Carpenter's The Thing, my all-time favorite horror film. You're showing a show a much better movie. It's in your shitty movie. I know that, and I know at a quick shot they saw the poster for Piranha 3D from the remake from 2010. My thoughts on that film has gone down over the years, but still, Piranha 3D is much better than your movie. Still, and other films have posters in that room that are much better than your movie. And so. Then we get one scene where Hayden Panettiere and another girl, they're watching they're watching Shaun of the Dead. Yeah, another movie that's better than your shitty movie, and much better comedy than whatever humor you have in this movie. Yeah, Shaun of the Dead and John Carpenter's The Thing ain't got shit on you on this movie. So. And also Sydney, she's downstairs, and they get a call from Ghostface, and they say I'm in the closet. At this point, I already know what was going to happen because across from their house next door is another girl that's by herself, right? Which I'm like, oh, okay, he's not really there. with them, right? He's in the closet where the one girl is from next door. Because he says, oh, I'm not in your closet. I said, I'm in the closet. I didn't say it was in your closet. Because he thinks he's going to play smart because he's going to not be dumb, right? Which is going to be? He's going to be in the closet where there are 3 people in the house, or the one where there's 1 person in the house. Bingo, ding dong. He's in the closet with the one girl that's from next door, and he kills her. And you do get, okay, I'll admit, you do get a nice bloody aftermath when they go in the room. There's blood over the walls. You just get a little bit of guts. Okay, you do get a nice bloody aftermath. I'll give you that, to be fair, on gore or whatever. And then you get another link. Well, that was one of the stupidest decisions I've seen. One of them, the stupidest decisions I've seen in the Scream franchise, where you have Sydney's publicist, right? I think because she's a bitch, she was bitchy, you know, that Sydney fired her, right? And so she's in the garage, and Ghostface attacks her. You know, and by the way, she has a phone. She doesn't call the cops. She doesn't call nobody. He jumps on the hood on the car. He disappears. She gets out of the car. Why would she get out of the car knowing that he is out there? He's not in the car, so she would be perfectly safe in the car, right? But no, she stupidly gets out of the car. She doesn't even call the cops. She has a phone that works. But no, she stupidly gets out of the car, tries to go to the exit. It's locked somehow, and Ghostface goes and stabs her. And then shortly afterwards, she falls on the news van afterwards. I'm like, good, you die from your freaking stupidity. Why would you get out of your car knowing that he's out there and he's much faster than you out there, you know? To me, that's one of the stupidest decisions I've seen in the Scream franchise. One of them. And Courtney Cox, she doesn't get nothing much to do either. I mean, she gets stabbed in the shoulder, but she gets put in the hospital, and she kind of like disappears towards the end of the movie. Dewey, David Arquette, doesn't do nothing in the film. He doesn't do pretty much nothing at all. And a lot of it tries to play like a playback from the first movie, like, you know, scene where the girl, like, you know, instead of, like, you know, the garage with the garage door, instead of her getting stuck in the doggy door, which I'll still say that's a nitpick in the first film, like I mentioned. Like, why would you crawl into that when you get stuck in, right? But it's kind of like similar to the first film, but instead getting stuck in the doggy door, she tries to go under the door, but the thing falls on top of her, and then Ghostface stabs her. Another thing that they try to play on the first film, like with Emma Roberts with her boyfriend, like how he sneaks up on the upper window to her bedroom, and I think another stupid line of dialogue was like, because there are cops outside. He's like, how did you get past the cops? He's like, well, they can't beat a ninja. Like, stupid line of dialogue. So there's certain things they try to play off of the first film, which I'm sorry, you are not being crap on the first film, okay? First film is still way better than yours. I mean, even the rules, like I said, that doesn't make any sense. Like, the killer likes to film themselves, right? I'm like, when do you see a killer film themselves? Unless you're like the killer from the Poughkeepsie tapes, who likes to film his murders, but. What, Saw? The first Saw film, yeah, there was a camera that was filming Dr. Gordon and Adam, but it was part of the plan is because to keep an eye on them and see when the clock runs out, not to kill them. So I don't think he wasn't overall filming anything of his murder, but when do I see a killer film themselves? Not found footage. I mean, there's just so much this film lacks in just cleverness. I mean, there were certain clever things they did in the third film, you know, and when the first Scream film came out, it brought something new, refreshing to the slasher genre, you know, and much better characters. I mean, there are much better horror comedies that did clever things much better. I mean, they were watching Shaun of the Dead, much clever movie than yours. Or Tucker Dale vs. Evil. Prime example. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, which came out the year before this. Much clever and much better movie, and well, I would say much more original than your movie. I love Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, and you get much better because I like the idea that okay, this thing of fear on hillbillies, right? And these college kids think Tucker and Dale they're evil because they're hillbillies, but it turns out they're actually the villains, right? And Tucker and Dale they're just innocent victims, just trying to enjoy their vacation at their vacation cabin, you know, and the stupid college kids ends up getting themselves killed for their own stupidity. They're more the villains than Tucker and Dale is because they think hillbillies are evil, but actually they're the villains themselves. Especially the lead college kid who tells them all this stuff. I love Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. It's hilarious, it's funny, but at the same time, the good bits of horror too, and adds a little horror elements. It's much more better, creative, and inventive than your movie is. If you're playing to any rules or where it's rules or anything. Much better movie. Just go watch Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. It's a much better movie. It's good on your time, you know. I'll say I don't say it's not good. It's a good waste of your time. That doesn't make any sense because I would say what's the opposite of waste? It's a fun time to watch. There you go. It's a fun time to watch. You'll have fun watching Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. And so, what are the kills? Other than the bitchy publicist making one of the stupidest decisions in the franchise. The webcam guy. He has this thing that's flipped around, and once he flips it, Ghostface is at the door, and he gets killed. But he thinks, "Oh wait a minute, I'm gay. That has to apply to something." Doesn't matter. He gets stabbed. And which, by the way, I think reading up. They don't have those the collapsible knives like they have in the previous movies, except the blades are CGI. So they had to resolve to having the blades being CGI instead of having like a collapsible blade. I'm like, because I'm watching the whoever they're getting stabbed right, especially with Anthony Anderson getting stabbed in the head. I thought it looked a little bit off and weird. Because they CGI the blade. I'm like, they really went that far to the lowest of low. You can't even use a real fake knife. You have to literally CGI the blade. I mean, come on, Kevin Williamson or whoever is doing that comes up with ideas. Wes Craven. You've done much better. So why do you have to do this stuff? You know. Oh, and then they find another body, which is this scene right here, what I mentioned. Like this scene here, because they found a body in the trunk. And it almost kind of reminded me, speaking of Kevin Williamson, who also wrote I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's all, I would say, a much better movie than this movie. And Kevin Williamson wrote that movie. Where they did deal with which Jennifer Love Hewitt finds a body in the trunk with all these crabs, and then the minute she went to get her friends, the fisherman was so clean and neat. By the time they got back, the trunk is perfectly clean. Nothing. It's clean as a whistle. It's like you took Mr. Clean's whatever products and made it clean. Nothing. You know. It's like how they do that within like 30 seconds. Get rid of all time to get rid of the body and all those crabs, those live crabs. Okay, they're all alive, by the way. Yeah, but he can get rid of the body and the crabs, and let alone clean the trunk of the car within like 5 seconds. By the short time before they came back. So it's kind of, I was waiting for that moment where I was like, oh, when they're all this scene right here where they're all looking inside the trunk of the car. I was waiting for them. Was it clean? Is it not? Is it gone? Yeah. And then leading to another, like I said, mentioned with Anthony Anderson, his partner, played by Adam Brody. I know I've seen this guy before too. He gets stabbed in the back, and Anthony Anderson, like I said, weird looking with a CGI blade going to his head, and he's still alive, bleeding out from his head, and he walks a few feet, and Ghostface is standing there watching him, and he goes and says, "Fuck Bruce Willis." And then, like I said, the guy, the webcam guy, "Oh, I'm gay. Does that mean something?" Nope, you're dead. What else? This is like one of the more forgettable ones in the series. I can't remember everything else. I'm not shitting you. Getting more like a play on the first movie, like towards the end, like with Hayden Panettiere, you know, like because she likes Rory Culkin, right? Rory Culkin's character's name is Charlie, and you know they kind of like each other, and Rory Culkin, he's tired of like how it was in the beginning of the first one with Drew Barrymore, and Ghostface calls her and try to name the remakes, and she's naming all these horror remakes, right? You know, from Halloween to House of Wax, which, by the way, House of Wax is a much better movie, and all these horror remakes, and she thinks she won, so goes and unties Charlie, but then he goes and stabs her, feeling he's one of the killers, and stupid reason, like, "Oh, I liked you, but you never looked up to me." I'm like, you're a dumbass, because it turns out the other killer, spoiler, I don't care, Emma Roberts is the other killer. I'm like, I buy her as being a strong ghost face who can overpower people, right? Which that basically leads on to the fifth film that pisses me off. Which I'll get to that though, but I'm like, okay, so you think, okay, if you want her to look up to you, because there was a little moment earlier that they think they were going to make out, right? If you want her to look up to you, why don't you just kill Emma Roberts then? Because you know she's Ghostface, and it was you two who knows the only one who it is, right? Why don't you just kill her, and that way you can be the hero, and that way she'll look up to you, and you can go and get laid. How about that? I'm sure she'll like that. Hey, you're the hero. I'm sure she'll look up to you after that, but no. And people will speculate, of course, at this time till Scream 6. Because it looked like she was dead, right? But apparently when Scream 6, she's alive. She survived being stabbed in the stomach. Which kind of leads up to a funny thing as what Sydney, Neve Campbell getting stabbed in the stomach, which is kind of a coincidence of how she gets stabbed in the stomach, and or not coincidence, it's convenient that she survives getting stabbed in the stomach. But this time, people have thought that Hayden Panettiere died in this, but until she came back in Scream 6. So, but this time, it looked like she was dead though. But apparently, she survived until she came in Scream 6. So, and so Emma Roberts tells Neve Campbell she's the killer, and this whole stupid reason why she wanted to do this because she was jealous of her cousin because she got famous from this. And now she wanted to become famous because of this. You're stupid, you know, okay? You think she unintentionally wanted to get famous after the murders in the first movie? You think she wanted to get famous? She was just trying to survive by the skin of her teeth from getting killed by Ghostface. You think she wanted to get famous on purpose? You moron. "Oh, I'm jealous because my cousin got famous from these murders, and I got Dilly's Squad, and I want to get some of that fame." You're an idiot. And whoever's who, you know, wherever she was as the Ghostface later in the movies, strong enough to overpower. I don't buy you being overpowering and strong. Just like in the stupid girl in the 5th movie who could overpower David Arquette, which I don't buy either. That just pissed me off in Scream 5. I'll get to that, though. I'll get to that in the next review. But yeah. So, Sydney gets stabbed in the stomach. And, by the way, they try to do the playoff in the first movie with Billy and Stu. You know, stabbing each other, right? Trying to make them look the victims, right? But instead, Emma Roberts, she wants to be, you know, only one in for herself, you know. So she goes and stabs Charlie, Rory Culkin. He dies from that. and then she thinking that Sydney's dead, so she tries to stab herself in the shoulder and tries to wound herself to making her look like a victim, a survivor. So they're in the hospital, and Dewey goes to see Gail, and Dewey goes to see Emma Roberts' character. I give fuck her name. Tells her that Sydney's alive, which is very convenient because she got stabbed in the stomach. She survived. I'm like, in Scream 3, it was clever that she used a bulletproof vest. Since the Ghostface Scott Foley, he had a bulletproof vest, so Sydney played it smart and she got a bulletproof vest. Why couldn't she be smart enough to wear another protection, something to protect herself from getting stabbed or whatever, But I guess didn't think of that though. So after when Dewey goes to see Gail and saying that, oh, she got stabbed in the shoulder the same place like you did. Well, how'd she know that, So Emma Roberts tries to kill Sydney again, and they get still fight where ultimately it leads up to where she gets, they say clear, and she gets the defibrillator to the head. Those defibrillators. I mean, I still have done better. When Jean-Claude Van Damme used to get one of those Unisouls and Universal Soldier 2, The Return. Sad that is. I mean, Universal Soldier: The Return is very hated on, but I think it's underrated. And Van Damme used because one of the Unisouls in the hospital choking him, and Jean-Claude Van Damme used one of the defibrillators to bzzz. much better than it did here, God, this movie's like, fuck you, Scream 4. And so then Neve Campbell goes and shoots her in the head. And you get the one thing that you say, one of the lines I say is the best one of the movie. She goes and says, "Don't fuck with the original." Yes, that's the best line of the movie. And they didn't kill off the original trio in this movie at this time. Which, that was the thing I was thankful for, They didn't kill off the original trio, and I like that line, "Don't fuck with the original." But then that'll get ruined when you get to Scream 5. That pisses me off more. See, this is the first big fuck up in the series. Then the next two are even more bigger fuck ups. So anyway, that's the end of it. Scream 4. Like I said, it sucks. This had to be the last film that Wes Craven had to direct before he passed away. It sucked. It sucked for him. I'm sad to say. Rest in peace to Wes Craven. I'm sorry that you had to go on a bad note. Like, My Solo Take was not good at all, and neither was this film. 2 bad films you did before you passed away. I'm sorry, you had to end on a bad note. If people like Scream 4, I don't get it though. I'll respect your opinion, but I just don't get it though. This is as much as I don't get why Scream 3 was much hated on. I don't get that. Scream 3 is much better than this. So overall, except for Hayden Panettiere, I liked her in the film. The newer supporting cast members. Everyone else, the supporting cast members, sucked in this film. Rory Culkin, he has longer hair. That's the only thing you know about his character. Emma Roberts, she sucked in this, and her whole stupid reason why she's doing this is beyond stupid. The new rules were shitty. That one character, the publicist, stupidest decisions to, oh, he's on the roof of their car. He disappears. He's still in the garage, yet you stupidly don't call the cops on your phone, and you stupidly get out of your car while he's out there. You die from your freaking stupidity. Courtney Cox and David Arquette are given nothing to do. Like, Courtney Cox, she gets stabbed in the shoulder, and she, almost the hour mark, and she disappears pretty much towards the end of the movie. Stupid humor and dialogue. Anthony Anderson, fuck Bruce Willis. Pfft. To me, he was not funny in this film. Stupid, like, even though also when they came, Emma Roberts, when she killed her boyfriend, even the boyfriend from before, trying to be like the first film, the going through the windows, like, oh, they can't beat a ninja. Stupid, just like the webcam guy. Oh, I'm gay. You can't kill me because I'm gay. Yeah. So, I mean, at least they didn't kill the original trio in this film, but that doesn't matter until the fifth film because it came out 11 years later. That still pisses me off too. But yeah, they were given nothing to do. They were just more pushed aside, focusing more on the newer supporting casts, except for Hayden Panettiere, but the rest of the cast I didn't give a shit about. They were forgettable and lame. The only thing except for the ending when they didn't die, or when they said don't fuck with the original, or the opening where it was kind of a clever thing. It was like a stab movie within a movie within a movie. But Kevin Williamson, your writing, your script in this film sucked. Marco Beltrami's score, sadly, was forgettable. The Scream 3's was much better. The songs were forgettable and lame too. So the thing is, I think they tried to. If I remember, they tried to use the song from Beverly Hills Cop. You know, dun 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 dun, dun whatever. It's just. I don't want to. I hate this film. To me, Scream 2 wasn't much. I'm not a fan of, but this was the first big fuck up in the series. Rest in peace, Wes Craven. But I'm sorry to say your last film was shit. I'm sorry to say. I was watching your other films were better. I mean, first Scream was the best. Scream 3 to me is the other better one. That's it. Or your other movies were much better than Scream 4 or Scream 2. Serpent of the Rainbow, People Under the Stairs, Shocker, Nightmare on Elm Street. Even Red Eye which is a thriller, it's much better than those movies. Scream 2 and 4. Even 5 and 6. Fuck it. But anyway, that's my review on Scream 4. And wait till you get to Scream 5. Stay tuned for that. Later.